over the United States, that noise would be heard by everyone underneath the path of the aircraft. To minimise those shockwaves on the ground, you need to change the shape of the plane and make it far more streamlined. Any big variation in shape, like a cockpit jutting up at the front, can produce a shockwave. The idea is to smooth out those variations, which reduces the shockwaves, and then spread them out across the body of the plane. The wings are swept back to reduce drag, and there's no canopy sticking up at the front of the plane for the cockpit. Each of those design points helps spread out and separate the shockwaves produced by the aircraft, which in turn reduces the sonic boom.
The X-59, if you look at it and notice, it's a very long airplane. It's nearly 100 feet long just to carry one person. And so that's what we're doing. We're dragging out, if you will, those volume changes, making them very gradual across the entire body of the airplane.
As the company contracted with building the X-59 for NASA, Lockheed Martin was tasked with designing, building and iterating this new low-boom supersonic aircraft. But unlike the 60s, when designing a new plane meant building and testing scale models in wind tunnels, Lockheed can use something called computational fluid dynamics, essentially getting a computer to simulate different designs and the kind of shockwaves they would produce.
The physics have been around forever. It's just being able to model those effectively. And with the advent of fast computers, you can iterate very quickly between the geometry and then analyze that in the computer to learn, well, what does this geometry do to help us to reduce those shocks and stretch those out to make the boom quieter.
After years of iteration, the X-59 is in the final stages of its build in Palmdale, California, at Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division. Inside this high-security facility, the company designs and builds breakthrough aviation technologies, most of which we can't actually see because they're classified. But we've been given unprecedented access to see the X-59 as the final assembly takes place.
So I'm actually inside the body of the X-59 right now, something I never thought I'd say. And I have to say, inside here, you can really appreciate how long and narrow this airplane is. It's about 2 body widths wide, and it's amazing to be inside an experimental aircraft. I never thought I'd get to see something like this so close and personal.
Just like birds are just perfectly designed, this airplane is being perfectly designed to fly supersonic as quiet as it can. And so these are not things that basically, a computer or man would say, this is what it should be. This is what Mother Nature is saying, no, this is what I want.
So what you can see behind me, you might think of an airplane wing as being fairly straight and flat, but if you look down here, you can see it kind of looks like a bird. It's a gull wing design, and that is designed to make the air flow smoothly over the aircraft, once again, so we don't hear those shockwaves that become the sonic boom.
While the outer shape of this aircraft is cutting edge, the actual body is made up of parts that are already used in other planes. Landing gear from an F-16, a cockpit and ejector seat from a T-38 jet. But there is one new feature on the inside that sets the X-59 apart. Because Lockheed wanted to minimise big changes in air pressure, it had to do away with the large cockpit windows sticking up at the front of the plane. In fact, there's no front window at all. Instead, the X-59 has an external vision system, or XVS, designed and built by NASA. The XVS uses 2 cameras above and below the aircraft to create a real-time view of the front of the plane shown on an HD screen. Sensors across the aircraft also feed in data, meaning the screen doubles as a heads-up display